So a biweekly budget is perfect for those of you who get paid every other week, and it can help you structure your budget around your paycheck so that you can plan your finances better. So if you're interested, keep watching because I'm going to be talking about how you can create your very own biweekly budget. And this is Bola Shokunbi. I'm the founder and CEO of Clever Girl Finance. I'm also the author of the Clever Girl Finance book series. Welcome to Clever Girl Finance TV. So in this video, we're going to talk about how to create a biweekly budget. But first, for those of you who are not familiar, what is a biweekly budget? Well, essentially, a biweekly budget is a plan for your finances if you get paid every 2 weeks or every 14 days. So how does a biweekly budget work? Well, because you're getting paid every 2 weeks, you're going to have 10 months where you get paid twice a month, and then 2 months where you get paid 3 times a month. Keep in mind that getting paid bi-weekly every 14 days is different from getting paid semi-monthly or twice a month. The key difference here is that the schedule varies very slightly. So with a bi-weekly paycheck, you're going to get paid 26 paychecks in a year, whereas with a semi-monthly pay period process, you're going to get paid 24 times in a year. So with that bi-weekly paycheck, you have 2 extra paychecks coming your way. So with that said, there are a few pros and cons to consider when you are setting up your own biweekly budget. So pros of a biweekly budget. Number 1, it takes into account the timing of your paycheck and the pay period. Number 2, the months with extra paychecks. So remember I said you get 2 extra paychecks with a biweekly payment system. This allows you to have more room to pay off debt or save. And then number 3, it is much easier to keep track of your bill payments and your bill payment times when you have a biweekly budget in place. And I'll explain that in a little bit. Some cons of a biweekly budget include 1, you may have to move around your bill payment dates with service providers and creditors to make it work. And then number 2, there's a chance that you're not using that 3rd paycheck. So there's going to be 2 months where you have a 3rd paycheck, and there's a chance that you may not be using that paycheck appropriately. So now you know what the pros and cons of setting a biweekly budget are. Let's talk about exactly how you can set up one of your own. Number 1, you want to set up a calendar. And on this calendar, you're going to add all your bill due dates. So think about things like mortgage, rent, utilities, everything that you pay for on a recurring basis is going to go on this calendar. So this way you know what bills are due when, and you can plan your bi-weekly paycheck accordingly. A great way to do this is to have a calendar set up where you print it out and you can write your dates on it. That way you have a visual view. You can also use a spreadsheet calendar or the calendar on your phone, but you want to be able to see all these dates in a good visual so you know exactly how to plan your bi-weekly paycheck. Step number 2, you then want to organize your bills and expenses according to your bi-weekly pay. So once you have it all laid out on the calendar, determine which expenses will fall into which 14-day window when you get paid. And to do this, you may need to actually call your creditors, call your service providers, and ask them to shift your bill due date so that you can align them properly with each 14-day window in which you get paid. And one thing to know is that when you call your creditors, when you call your service providers, many of them will allow you to move your bill due date as long as you're not trying to extend it beyond 30 days of when that bill is due. So you can definitely try to do that. And so look on your calendar and determine, okay, what bills do I need to shift around on this calendar to fit into my 14-day pay period? Step number 3, don't forget to factor in your variable expenses. And these are those one-time single occurring expenses that you may need to pay for. For example, you may have some back to school expenses, you may be planning for a vacation, or you may have a one-time repair bill you need to pay for. So you want to look at your calendar once a month and determine where these variable expenses need to go, and make sure that each 14 days you can cover that bill with that paycheck that comes in. Step number 4, create a buffer. This is essentially you having some backup cash in the event that you have some surprises or life emergencies and you're not able to cover them with that 14-day paycheck. And so what you want to do is build your buffer up 3 to 6 months of your core living expenses, so housing, food, transportation, your core utilities, any medicines your household might need, and then you want to use that money in the event that life happens. If things are going smoothly, then just leave that money where it is. To build this buffer, one thing you can do is create a line item in your budget that says, okay, each time I get paid every 14 days or every 2 weeks, I'm going to put X amount of money towards my buffer. And that's how you're going to be able to build that buffer up so that you have that money set aside if you do need to leverage it. Step number 5, start tracking your budget. So you have organized your bill due dates according to when you will get paid every 14 days. And now you want to start tracking it to make sure that things are going to go according to how you expect them to go. So are you able to pay the bills that you have designated for each 14-day window, or do you need to move things around? You also want to keep an eye on your spending to make sure that you're not spending beyond what your 14-day paycheck can accommodate. So one way to track this is to have a column in your budget for actuals, what your actual spending is, because your budget, as you already know, is to forecast what you plan to spend. And so this new column will be to track what you actually spend, or you can use a spending journal. And this will help you stay on top of how you are spending money with each bi-weekly paycheck. You also want to set a reminder to make sure that if you have automated payments for bills or for savings, that those are going where they need to go every 2 weeks. So you want to make sure that those bills are getting paid automatically and that your savings is getting transferred automatically every 2 weeks. By the way, if you are enjoying this video, I'd love for you to hit the like button below and subscribe to this channel, and then tell all your best girlfriends about Clever Girl Finance. We have over 30 plus completely free courses on our website at clevergirlfinance.com. We have over 40 plus completely free worksheets as well. And we have a podcast called the Clever Girls Know podcast that I host every single week. I'd love for you to be a part of it. Okay, let's get back to the video. So as you can see, the process for setting up a bi-weekly budget is not complicated. You just need to dedicate some time to get it set up. And this basically means you put some time on your calendar to review all your expenses, put them on your calendar, make sure that they fall within 14-day windows of when you need to get them paid based on your bi-weekly paycheck, and then schedule time to check in on how your budget is doing. The key to a successful bi-weekly budget is to make sure that you are able to align your bills and expenses with each 14-day paycheck. And it's also really important that with each 14-day paycheck, you also have a line item for your goals, including saving, investing, or paying down debt. So take a good look at your calendar and determine, okay, where can I fit in this line item or this plan to save this month, or to pay down debt this month, or to invest this month. And you want to put those goals within each 14-day window so that when you get that bi-weekly paycheck, you have the money to put toward that goal. That said, here are some additional tips for success with your bi-weekly budget. Number 1, make sure you write everything down. So you want to write down what your goals are, how much you want to save, invest, or put to pay down debt. And you also want to write down what your bills are and put all these on your calendar, including your expenses. You can use an app on your phone to track your spending if necessary, or a spending journal like I mentioned earlier. And then if your bill due dates are not working out, call the companies, call the creditors, call the service providers, and ask them if you can change your due dates. And then finally, it's a good idea to save up a buffer of your expenses so that you will always know you have the month covered if something comes up. And if you follow this bi-weekly budgeting approach correctly and, specifically, when you do get those 2 months where you have a third paycheck, it's going to feel like you have a bonus, because it's going to look like extra money because you're so used to planning for getting 2 paychecks a month, right? And so here are some ideas of what you can do with that third paycheck in those 2 months where you will get a third paycheck. You can put some money away towards a big bill coming the next month. You can plan ahead and grow your emergency fund. You can save for a vacation or a significant home expense that may be coming up. Or you can put it to your buffer and save it for expenses or in your emergency account. So will you be trying out a bi-weekly budgeting approach? Do you already budget on a bi-weekly basis? I would love to know. So share your best tips in the comments below. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, tell all your best girlfriends about Clever Girl Finance, and then stop by our website at clevergirlfinance.com. We have over 30 plus completely free courses, over 40 plus completely free worksheets, and of course our podcast, the Clever Girls Know podcast, everywhere you listen to your podcast episodes. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will talk to you next time.